a lot of it is being able to get into your opponent's head on what option they're going to use. But if you show 19 different options, you can't think about all 19.
Yep.
You have to pick 3, 4. If you're absolutely nuts, maybe you can think of 5 all at the same time and have a hope of guessing at them. But oh, that could have been massive damage for NITRO early on. You're going to find it again, not able to convert into the Viper Slash, but I'll let you go off for a little bit.
Yeah, this is, I have to say, a huge match for us here. I mean,
yeah.
we don't normally only get to see this kind of match across the continent, but right now, in our TGS bracket, this is probably some of the best entertainment you could get from the East Coast. Like, good lord!
Oh, he crossed him. That's so unfortunate, but that
NITRO
DP
and Coach Steve, I mean, NITRO's been one of the best Dragon Ball players in the world recently, and Coach Steve showing really great showings recently as well, but this is just looking like a brawler of a match, Leo versus Soul.
And it always is, it always has been between these two characters. Just solid damage and good Oki from Soul versus just the relentless onslaught that you have to deal with from Leo. Nice pickup there, goes for the Bandit Revolver, doesn't need to opt for the Bringer. This should be wall break pretty quick, but it's going to be the burst from Coach Steve. This is a match to get in on winners semifinals, and NITRO is just throttling Coach Steve right now. But here we go, here's the offense, back turn. Trying to get things going. He's going with the mid a lot. Not going to be able to put out that back turn P. Be able to anti-air. Does have the RC, and what a conversion off the dust into the K. There was a slash somewhere in there to be had after that 5K. And NITRO, in dominant fashion, takes game 1 over Coach Steve. Now, you were saying they were doing really well in... Oh, sorry, you have an actual...
No, go on.
I was gonna say you've been saying they've been doing well in Dragon Ball. What's NITRO's exploits been like these days?
NITRO. I mean, we saw them at the Invitational. We saw NITRO dominate locals. We saw NITRO dominate many tournaments online. I mean, NITRO has been one of the strongest players around the world, and also in the Invitationals for the team battles as well for Dragon Ball. I mean, you see NITRO become a god across these past years, and seeing these players both in Guilty Gear now, it's just, oh, what a grab! You love to see that kind of experience, that kind of profession, that kind of professionalism just translate into how they play. This aggression is incredible, and Coach Steve with the cross up,
love it,
real quick.
Oh, let's get that Weavile moving. Let's get that slippery little ice type going through.
Yeah, this is an explosive matchup because I mean, last match was what, maybe a minute 30 at fastest.
Yeah.
Like
one full round for the entire game.
2 explosive tons of dynamite just clashing at each other, and Coach Steve gets that first round. I mean, Leo, a character who has, I would argue, slightly better options in this matchup. However, at disadvantage, I feel like Leo could definitely get punished way harder.
Yeah. The DP that comes from Leo is nowhere near as good as the DP that Soul can put out. You know, if you want to just commit to the slash DP for Soul, sometimes you just miss that. You miss the punish because it's old, you know, Street Fighter 4 Ryu just mashing light DP. Right now, oh, that's a big call.
Huge damage. Look at that explosion into RC 100-meter option. Look at that damage. You can't get that anywhere else.
That was like 65%, but it's not gonna matter. It's not gonna matter. A 5P catches him in the toes as he's dashing, and Coach Steve will hang on and will tie this one up at 1 apiece. And they're both fighting for the privileged punishment of having to take on DPS in winners semifinals. You'd rather be in the winner's side of the bracket, but dear God, do you really want to fight Axel?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say if anyone wants to fight Axel at this point. Axel's such a strong character, but these two players, I love to see it because you saw in the first round. You saw in the first round how NITRO just ran through Coach Steve, just punishing everything he could and running into this endless pressure. But now Coach Steve playing a little bit more defensive and analyzing his options and dealt with them as we saw in last round. And huge counter, the back turn, confidence from Coach Steve. I mean, look at this. He's just staying a back turn in neutral. Why not?
That was a fancy whip punish there and a chase down of the backdash from NITRO. And I completely agree. Why would you not mess around with that? I mean, Steve is completely getting away with it. They are rolling through on this one. These slashes, it's dangerous. He's actually getting the danger penalty because he keeps backdashing, even though he's the only one pressing buttons. Ends up Getting a grab on the backdash, and that will seal from the super. What a conversion!
Incredible corner backdash. I mean, you're seeing it now. You're seeing it live. Coach Steve has adapted to this offense, and Nitro not quite knowing what to do just yet. Nitro's successfully punished quite a few options, but it's not enough to get a good snowball going.
Oh, that's a massive backdash.
These backdashes! I'm gonna scream. These backdashes are insane.
Go for it. I'm not gonna stop you.
I can't believe this movement is absolutely incredible. They're just calling out specific options with just backdash, which is such a risky option when you're in the corner, especially. And especially against both these characters that have such huge buttons too.
Chases him down. Not going to be able to get anything from it, and it's just going to be a 6P as he dashes himself into the corner. Coach Steve will lock up another round and will lock themselves up with match point. NITRO has a long fight ahead of them. And are they going to switch characters?
No shot they will. I wouldn't believe it for a second. I wouldn't believe it for a moment. Why would you swap off Soul versus Leo?
I mean, the only thing I could think of is you have, like, you're saying Dragon Ball is their main game. So maybe they jump into the game and they're like, I'm going to play Zato or something like that. And, okay, it's going to be Ram. See, this is what I was going to get at. Maybe they came into the game on one character and they were like, hey, you know what? I need to be able to not focus on this entirely. Let's pick Soul. And now they've picked the other mildly, I don't want to focus on this entirely character in Ram, and they're going to look to just keep Leo out. This matchup, though, just became a lot more lopsided, but in neither character's favor. It's just how the board state goes. It matters on what's happening in the moment, not what's happening as in the matchup as a whole. Right now, it's a massive advantage for Coach C to be in this corner, but now it's all going to flip. The burst has to be popped. NITRO doesn't get to work with it, but phenomenal reversals.
You see, you know how I mentioned why would you swap? Now, this is exactly the reason why, as we're seeing. I mean, Coach Steve obviously not able to properly deal with Ram's options, and as we saw, Coach was pretty relatively easily dealing with Soul's options, and now as we see, Ram is exploding.
That she is. Weird that she didn't go through the wall. I guess that one was actually putting him into the wall break. But NITRO drops that first round, doesn't have burst for the next little while, is going to try and play from distance. The scary thing is if you whiff a button, it's pretty easy for Leo to get themselves in. They do have that long-range dash to try and react to it. They do have their own fairly swift long-range normals to punish any hurt box that you do leave out if they can play tight enough to that spot. But right now, we're going to play for the mix. And there it is. Ends up putting themselves in the corner, but there's the throw. Makes one more time. Doesn't get the hit. NITRO going to get to reset the pressure just a little bit. Tries to run up. Looking for anything as they charge in. NITRO. Dangerous.
It's chance time. If there's any time, it's chance time. Using everything they can to try and get this final kill. Huge opportunity.
First, no bait. Super available. Oh, they tried to call it out. And Coach Steve calls it out that little bit better. They will can their way to victory, showing that they can keep up with the great fighting game players of today. Those new bloods coming through. It's going to be Coach Steve, showing that he might need, NITRO might need to run a few more laps to keep up with him on game day.